Hi, my name's Lou and welcome to my first ever episode of Quarantine Cooking. There'll be lots of episodes to come, so keep watching. So for my very first episode, I've decided to cook a beautiful artisan-style baked loaf of bread. It's the famous No-Knead bread recipe by Jim Leahy, who's a very, very well-known baker in New York at the Sullivan Street Bakery, and I've been doing this for years and everyone who's had it loves it. It's so easy. You'll have all the ingredients at home you should have, and I'll try and give you some good step-by-step instructions. So you'll need a plastic bowl and a spoon, water, yeast. Now I'm using active dried yeast, but you can use just instant yeast as well. Then you need some salt, which everyone has. I'm also using bread improver because I'm using plain flour. You don't need it, but if you've got it on hand, just add a teaspoon. But otherwise, plain flour, bread flour is better, but only marginally. It doesn't really make much difference. The other crucial thing you'll need for this is a casserole pot. I've got a cast iron pot. It's not very big. I think it's about 5 litres. You need a heavy lidded, heavy pot. So just Corningware, whatever heavy pot you've got. So here we go. First thing is you just put in 3 level cups of plain flour into your bowl. Pretty straightforward. Then put a teaspoon of bread improver, not crucial. Then you put 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt. Any salt, doesn't matter, take your pick. Then you put 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. So there's really not much yeast in this recipe at all. Then just give it a bit of a quick stir, just to make sure everything's the dry ingredients are mixed. Then you tip in 1 1/4 cups, a good 1 1/4, I'll just go a smidge over, into your flour mix.
That's a mistake, make that 1 1/2 cups, sorry.
Roughly, the recipe for this on the internet, everywhere you look, will tell you that a 4-year-old can make this, and it really is true. It doesn't require kneading, it's just mixing it till it's they could describe it as shaggy and sticky. And that's it. That's how it should look. I'm actually just going to cover that with Glad wrap, and then I'll tell you what happens next. So you cover your bowl with Glad wrap, leave it to sit on your bench top overnight. I usually make this, you plan it around when you want it, but you make it approximately 18 hours or 20 hours before you want the loaf. So I'm making this now at 3:30 because I will bake this around lunchtime tomorrow. But I'm with the magic of time and videos and stuff. Here's one I made earlier. I've always wanted to say that. So I'll see if I can show. That's bubbly and it's like yeasty and it smells a bit like beer and yeast, and it's really puffed up a lot overnight. So that's been left now for about 18 hours. It's pretty forgiving. You can do 15 hours, you can do 21 hours, you can do even 24 hours. Doesn't really matter. The very next thing we're going to do is this. So sprinkle your bench top with flour, and I buy one of these plastic scrapers. If you've got a spatula, anything will be fine, spoon even. Just scrape all this out onto your heavily floured bench top, like that. Just turn it onto itself a few times. So you're not actually kneading, you're just kind of folding it onto itself so it's not ridiculously sticky. Then you lay out a nice clean tea towel. Clean, please, and not a fluffy one because dough will stick to a fluffy one. Now you can sprinkle that with flour if that's all you've got. I personally prefer semolina. It gives us crunchier kind of exterior to your loaf. That's just my preference. It doesn't really matter though. Some people use cornmeal even. So get that dough ball, and put it on top of your heavily sprinkled tea towel. Also sprinkle a little bit more on top. Fold the tea towel over like that, just like a little bundle of joy, and leave that for 2 hours on your bench top. 1.5 hours into that 2-hour rise of the dough on the bench top. It's not quite ready to go in the oven yet, but what we have to do is turn your oven on to 215 degrees fan forced or 235 degrees normal oven, and put your pot into the cold oven and then turn it on. And so you're preheating your pot for half an hour. So in half an hour, we will then show you what to do with the dough. Okay, so our dough has been rising on the bench top for 2 hours, and there it is. It's pretty much doubled in size. So now we have to put this into the preheated pot that's been in the oven for half an hour. I'm now going to put the dough gently into the preheated pot like this. Just, it will sort of go upside down, but that's okay. I don't want to bang the air out of it while it's still hot. And put the lid, that's it, put the lid on. And I'm now going to put it in the oven for, 30 minutes with the lid on and 15 minutes with the lid off. Okay, that's 30 minutes and the lid comes off, and that's it at the moment. Delish. It's got 15 more minutes more. Okay, this is the exciting bit. The bread's done, it's ready, it's out of the oven. It's been 15 minutes without the lid on, and I wish you could smell it. You're gonna love it. It smells so good. It's very, very crunchy on top. I'm going to lift that out and show you that loaf. It's got a funky little pattern this time off the tea towel, but that is so nice. Oh, I can't wait to try this. Now let's have a look at this delicious loaf that we've pulled out of the oven, hot, fresh, delicious bread, really easy, and anyone can do it, as you can see from the video. Look at that. Oh my God. Like, that seriously looks like a professional loaf from Laurent Bakery, but it's just from the House of Blue in quarantine. So I reckon taste test time, and okay, yum. All right, it's still hot, it's still warm. I just put a bit of butter on. Oh my goodness. Oh, and there it is. Oh, that's such good bread. Well, thanks for joining me on my first ever Lou's quarantine cooking. Here's to many more. Enjoy.